Yeah, we back, baby. Keeping it real. Who That Sports Pod? Dolph Jackson, Coach Rock, presented by the Come On In Sports Network. Who That Nation, how you doing? Come on in. Take a seat, it's all good, you're amongst friends. Breaking news, interviews, Saints Juice. Open lines up just for you. 9 ball, 10 ball, where you at? 12 ball, 15, where you at? 3rd ball, 17, where you at? 9th ball, all the way in the back. Uptown, baby, downtown, baby. Everybody represent black and gold, baby. Uptown, baby, downtown, baby. Everybody represent black and gold, baby. Who that? Who that? Who that saying they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that saying they gon' beat them Saints? Who That Nation, how you doing? Come on in. Take a seat, sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab a drink, and let's talk Saints football. Y'all know what time it is. Time to keep it real. Let's go. Family, family, family. The doors are now open, so come on in. What's going on, family? It's your boy, Dolph Jackson, baby. Welcome in to the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast, man. First of all, let me start off by saying a very, very happy and Merry Christmas to each and every single one of you out there, baby. Listen, enjoy your time tomorrow, today with your family and friends. It's a wonderful time of the year. Thank God that you're here to see another Christmas. You got to count your blessings, baby. And that's what I'm doing, man. I'm able to be here, sit, talk, get up, walk, communicate with your baby. Hey, it's a blessing. Some, unfortunately, do not have that opportunity. So with that being said, family, we go get into today's action. Because today, I thought about this, like many of you have. The 2025 New Orleans Saints rookie class has, without a question of a doubt, been a hit. Not only a hit, a major success, and something that this organization desperately needed. When you look at what this class has done, they have went over and beyond the expectations, not only of those in the building on airline, but most definitely all of us who are part of Who That Nation. Quite frankly, this is the best class that the New Orleans Saints have had since that famous 2017 class, which included Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Marcus Williams, Alvin Kamara, Alex Anzalone, Trey Hendrickson, El Quadin Muhammad, all active in the NFL. I believe Marcus is still hurt. Though not with the Saints, all have had productive careers. El Quadin Muhammad was a 6th-round pick that showed flashes. He's been with the Colts, and right now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's with the, let me see, right now, who is he with? Right now, he's with the Lions. He's with the Lions right now, this season. And so this season right now, games, he's appeared in 15 games this season. He has 23 combined tackles, 13 solo, 10 assists, and he has 9 sacks this year. How about that? 6th-round pick of the New Orleans Saints from 2017. Again, this young man out of the University of Florida, taken in the 6th round, 196 by the Saints, 2017, still being productive in his career. For his career, he has 24 sacks, 124 solo tackles, and 4 forced fumbles. Not bad for a 6th-round selection. Now, Trey Hendrickson, the one that got away, the mistake.
Make no mistake about it, the Saints made a mistake by choosing Marcus Davenport over Trey Hendrickson. We all know this. We went over this. It's like spilling milk over and over again. Trey Hendrickson and his career family. Remember, he comes out the University of Florida Atlantic. He was a 5th round selection by the Saints, by the 3rd round selection by the Saints, 103rd overall for his career, 81 sacks, 162 solo tackles, 15 forced fumbles. Man, of course, injuries this year have slowed him down. He's only appeared in 7 games, but Trey Hendrickson's career has been a success. Now, let's go to Alex Anzalone. Now, I remember, well, a lot of you out there, you wanted to get rid of Alex Anzalone. I thought Alex Anzalone was a good football player. Kind of reminds me how a lot of you now want to get rid of Cousin Pete. You keep trying to find ways to get rid of Cousin Pete. Cousin Pete continues to be on the football field because he's a good player. I understand the love with Stutzman. He flashes. Showing flashes and being consistent are 2 different things. But for his career, Alex Anzalone, another 3rd round pick, 2 3rd round picks that year. All right. Number 76 overall. So Trey Hendrickson and Alex Anzalone were 3rd round selections in 2017. Alex Anzalone, for his career, 12 sacks, 389 tackles, 3 forced fumbles. And of course, right now, he's a main club in that Detroit Lions defense. Now, who else came out in that famous class? Well, what about Marcus Williams? Huh? Remember him? Marcus Williams? Let me get that back up. Marcus Williams now. 2nd round selection by the Saints. 20 interceptions in his career for 316 yards, 1 touchdown. But Marcus Williams would best be known in New Orleans, and sadly, for that Minnesota Miracle, which still hurts today. It still hurts today. But Marcus Williams was a very good 2nd round selection for the New Orleans Saints. And he's a very good football player. Things, unfortunately, haven't gone as planned for him in Baltimore due to injuries and circumstances. But Marcus Williams, part of that 2017 class that was a success, the best class in Saints history. You had 2 number 1 picks that year. We're going to go with the latter one. And that latter one was Ryan Ramczyk, Big Ram. Unfortunately, a chronic knee condition forced Big Ram to have to retire from the National Football League. But we know at his peak, he not only was one of the greatest Saints offensive linemen, this young man was a perennial All-Pro, and he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. That's how dominant he was before injuries started to set in, and eventually that chronic knee injury, because that chronic knee diagnosis and which he suffered from forced him to retire. But Ryan Ramczyk still is one of the greatest New Orleans Saints offensive linemen of all time. And of course, this class produced the Rookie of the Year. You know who I'm talking about. The man, simply known as AK, baby. AK, Alvin Kamara. Here's where we go start. Saints all-time leading rusher. He has ran the ball 1,674 times for 7,250 yards, 61 touchdowns. That's AK on the ground for the New Orleans Saints. And we know that Alvin is one of the best all-purpose backs in the league. Yes, I hear the rumors. I hear the chat out there. Oh, Dolph, he done lost it. He ain't the same person. He can't do what he used to do. He 31 now. We need to move on. He's injured now. Well, hell, last I thought, I checked, Kendre Miller was injured. Devin Neal is injured. Did y'all see who our starting running back were this past week? But when used properly, I believe, listen, I'm not a fool. Is Elvin the every down back that he was? If he has to do it, I still believe he can, but he was most successful with him and Mark Ingram. That's what he needs. He needs that complimentary back. We are hoping, and Devin Neal showed flashes before he got hurt, that he has the potential to be that type of back. And we're going to get to Devin Neal because he's part of this year's class that has the opportunity to do, I believe, even more and be even more successful than this current class. I mean, than the previous class. We're speaking about the 2017 class. And of course, who have I left out? Well, that's it. So I told, well, no, I can't. I'm lying. The man, the rookie of the year, arguably the best cornerback in the history of the New Orleans Saints. You can give me all the names you want. We all know who the best was. Marshawn, Laddie Daddy, Lattimore. First round pick, Ohio State. We all remember. He was the consolation prize because the big prize got away when the Chiefs traded up and jumped in front of the Saints. And we know who they took, and we know what has happened since then. But Marshawn Lattimore proved to be one of the better selections that the New Orleans Saints had made in the entire history of their franchise. So Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Alvin Kamara, Trey Hendrickson, Alex Anzalone, El Quadim Muhammad, all have gone on to have successful and impactful NFL careers right now. El Quadim Muhammad has 9 sacks for the line. He's leading the way. I believe he has more than Hutchinson. So he's always been able to rush the passer, and we got 2 weeks left. Can he get to 10, 11 sacks on the season? We shall see. All right, fam, I see my brother in the back about to join us in a minute. Zach's in the building. He in the Christmas spirit. But, man, yeah, this class here, man, it's been that class right there, that 2017 class, man, that was a heck of a class. But let's talk about what we have now, family. This team played its rookies this season. They didn't dump them on the practice squad. They didn't hide them behind vets. They played them in real games, and that tells us something important. So the question we're answering today, plain and simple, is, did this rookie class do enough to be considered part of the future foundation of the New Orleans Saints? We're breaking it down position by position, impact by impact, and moment by moment. The players we're talking about today: Kelvin Banks Jr., Shough, Jonas, Sanker, Quincy Riley, Devin Neal, and Charlie Smyth, baby. Because Charlie Smith's a rookie. But he's been with us a couple of years, but he's never made an appearance. He was never on the official roster. He went from the practice. He went to the practice squad, and then he got called up to the official roster. Charlie Smith's a rookie. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We talking about 6 rookies. We talking about impact on the special teams. We talking about impact on the offensive side of the ball, on the offensive line, and the most important position in all the football, quarterback. We're talking about impact in the secondary, where the Saints needed a youth movement, but not just a youth movement, but a talented youth movement. And you got that with Sanker. You got that with Quincy Riley. You got that with second-year cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry. You got Alontae Taylor back there, though I don't know if Alontae will be back. But to me, if Alontae finds a better deal outside the Saints organization where they want him to play outside cornerback, I'd love to have him stay. But I think Quincy Riley's up to the challenge since he's got here. So by the end of the day, Shough, we gonna know exactly how each guy has impacted the season and how they can compare with their rookie peers and how this class stacks up with the Saints rookie class from the last 7 years. We ain't got to go with the last 7 years. I already touched on it. That 2017 class, that's the standard. That's the standard. And right now, that team, without a question, this rookie class, without a question of doubt, has stood up, has performed above and beyond. So where are we going to start at? Let's talk first about Kelvin Banks. We hope that Banks would anchor the left side for the New Orleans Saints. We hope that when the Saints made that selection, that they were getting a cornerstone for the future, someone who will be able to protect the blind side of hopefully a franchise quarterback. And I believe, and I'm sure many of you do, if not most of you, that he has all but lived up to that. Kelvin Banks Jr. is real. He is the real deal. He is on the verge of being one of those dudes. And when I say one of those dudes, I'm talking about one of the best left tackles and offensive linemen in the National Football League. Banks was the first round pick this year, number 9 overall. He was brought in to do what? To stabilize what has been a shaky offensive line and continues to be a shaky offensive line. Now, listen, he had his troubles this week with McDonald of the Jets. But hey, they get paid on the other side of the ball too. But I'm comfortable with Kelvin Banks Jr. Matter of fact, I'm more than comfortable with Kelvin Banks Jr. as the left tackle of the New Orleans Saints. And here's the truth. He didn't ride the pine. He didn't rotate in occasionally like they did with his predecessors. He started. He's played significant snaps all season long. So that tells us what? That tells us one thing. The coaching staff trusted him enough to handle NFL pass rush every single week. Now we know rookie tackles struggle in the league. We know tackles struggle in the league. It's a different beast when you come from college to the NFL. But it's part of the growing pain of blocking elite edge rushers. So what are some things that stand out to me about Kelvin Banks Jr.? Well, first of all, he was on the field. He has been on the field all season long. Help, he has answered the bell. That alone is a huge step for a rookie tackle. He has absorbed real live bullets from NFL pass rushers. He's going up against some really good ones. We went up against one now. Those 2 young pass rushers in Atlanta, they're good. Tampa has good rushers. He went up against against the Rams. He held his own. Kelvin Banks Jr. has lived up to being the number 9 pick in this year's draft. He was not a popular selection among many of you because we have fallen into that conundrum of being upset because the Saints are selecting another offensive lineman in the first round. But again, family, football has and will always be won in the trenches. Just because you don't hit does not mean you don't keep swinging. You won't hit if you don't swing. They hit with Kelvin Banks Jr. They hit last year with Tylese Fuaga. Despite no Samuel, though, they hit. I'm telling you, he ain't no damn. I'm tired of people talking about putting the guard. He ain't no damn guard. He ain't no Trevor Penny. He's a natural tackle. Stop with that foolishness. I'm tired. Don't start that. Because that's what we got habit of doing, trying to put current players in the box are former players. He ain't that. He's a damn tackle, period. All right. Now, the bottom line about Banks was he wasn't a project. He's been a starter all season. If the Saints are going to build an offensive line around their presumably franchise quarterback, you got to protect them first. And damn it, they went out and they got Kelvin Banks Jr. to do it. And that's a hell of a start, baby. All right, family. As you can see, I'm joined by my brother Zach's in the building. Zach, what's going on?
What's up, man? Oh, chilling.
Got the last Christmas gift done, man. Last Christmas shopping done with, man.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know,
if I didn't, oh well, man, because I finished it up this weekend, bro. I don't even know, bro. I think I got everybody. If someone's upset, I guess. I don't know.
Rose City, what's going on, baby? Come on
What up,
in.
bro?
Rose in the building. Uncle Jerry's in the building. Jerry, come on in. All right. Dana, my sister's in the building. Dana, come on in. All right. Who we got here? McCarran Rostrolis.
That's the Macarena.
Come on in. All right. Who we got here? Raising. I ain't even tried your last name, but how are you doing? Come on in. Thank you for being here. Booker's in the building. What's up, Booker?
What up,
Come
Book?
on in. Book in the building, baby. All right. But yeah, man. So Zach, so far, man, I just looking at the 2017 class, man, and the current 2025 class. When this class was selected, man, I know there is not a one of us who thought that this class would be as impactful as it has been so far this season. Not even that 2017 class as a whole, in my opinion, was as impactful as this 2025 class, because you got most starters here in the 2025 class and more contributors than you had in 2017. What's your thoughts?
Oh man, I had to go pull up the 2017 one because I'm sitting here like, I don't know, man. I mean, we got some ballers in that 2017 one. I mean, realistically, only one of them. Oh, their rookie season? Maybe so.
Yeah, that's all we can go. That's all I'm going on. Their rookie season.
Yeah, maybe so.
And Ryan,
I mean, we had a lot of high picks. We had a lot of high picks in that 2017 draft. I mean, I think people, forget about that. We had 2 first-round picks and we had 3 third-round picks. So, with the second, and then our late one obviously coming with the 6. But yeah, I mean, look, we had a lot of picks this year. It was kind of spread out, and we got to give credit where credit's due. And Mickey Loomis, actually did his thing. Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore. We've got starters at, damn near every position that we drafted at. We got some good guys that were on the practice squad that we're, keeping as, locks right now that could potentially develop into something as well. So that's, some good, a good place to be in too.
Right.
But I think we got some real ballers out there like that can be there for a long time. I mean, Tyler Shough, we'll see. Everybody's been, talking about how the sophomore slump will be, how his, when teams start to game plan for him a little bit better. But, I feel like what he's done so far, I think all I see is more growth out of him. And, that's obviously being optimistic. Kelvin Banks, the one thing that's been exciting me more about Kelvin Banks in the last couple of games is how he gets out on the block from the run game as well. You see him getting up into the second level, switching sides over to the right and wrapping and leading the charge for the run game as well, which is, something that we had Penning for. That was like the main reason why we grabbed him. And obviously him not being on the team anymore after, his, several couple years of struggles. I think that's a really good sign. Sanker may be my favorite rookie in this draft class. Man, I was actually one of those. I was like, man, Sanker. I was like, why we go get him at safety when they still? I think they still had your boy from Notre Dame that was still available. And I was like, why didn't we grab him? I was like, that's an obvious pick. Like that, he was like a top 3, arguably a top 3 safety in the draft, and he kept falling back. Why did we go get Sanker? And that's why I'm not a GM, because man, Sankers came out, man. The Heat seeking missile, Jonas Sanker. He's doing his thing. Yeah. Quincy Riley, hopefully he can continue to grow his game. He still has a couple flaws in his, but we all know cornerback's the second hardest position in the NFL. Hopefully we can see some growth from him.
Is that on your name?
So there's been a lot of really good things that we've been getting out of this rookie class so far that can help propel us into the future, man. I mean, and, we're still in an NFC South that is extremely weak. So, right now we got Carolina and Tampa battling for a playoff spot. And realistically, neither one of them should be in there. If we were playing like we're playing right now, granted, we haven't played some weaker teams at this tail end of the schedule. Our beginning, our start of the season was really rough. We had Rams, we had Bills, we had Cardinals when they were playing good. We had Patriots, we had forgetting the other team now, Seahawks. I don't think I said them. So, we had a really tough schedule in the beginning, but if we would be playing the way we are right now, how the defense has really stepped up, finally getting adjusted to Brandon Staley's complicated style of defense. We know we were really concerned about that in the beginning. A lot of us was like, man, why do we bring this dude in? He's dropping defenses, edge rushers into coverage and doing all this stuff. He just had to work it out. He had to figure out who could fill into what role. And now we are ranked as a top 10 defense in the NFL. We're ranked number 9 right now. So yeah, Bears as well, normal guy. So, I think all of these things are positives trajectory. If we had been playing like this, I don't even think Tampa or Carolina would be fighting for a playoff spot going into week 17 if we would have been playing at this level. People are trying to say, oh, it's, because if we would have started Tyler Shough, no. Tyler Shough was not ready at the beginning of the season. He was not ready. He needed that time off. If anything, it might have killed his confidence by coming in when he wasn't ready. And we all know that's all being a quarterback is about. Tyler Shough kind of, got thrown in at that Tampa game. Didn't look great there. Come back out the following, kind of slowly improving here and there. And right now, you can just see you watch him play, and he only has, I think it was like 2. I think he's got 2 seconds or something like that to get the ball out before he's getting pressure. That offensive line still needs some work, but you could see him quickly scanning the field, going through his options really quick, always keeping his head up, and then having the ability to run. He's feeling confident in his run again, back at his days when he played for Texas Tech. He's starting to run the football a lot more, being a little more aggressive with that, knowing when to slide, knowing, how to do this, how to do that. He protected himself a lot better this weekend, which I thought was really good. I'm sure they came up to him and be like, look, we're glad you took those hits, got us a couple penalties, yada, yada, yada. But we need you as a quarterback. And you could tell he started sliding a little bit earlier, protecting his body. These are all positive things of growth for a quarterback that, in all reality, we know he's a little bit older. He has to develop quickly. But if we can get 10 years out of Tyler Shough, that puts the Saints in a really good spot. He's the same age that we brought Drew Brees in. Now, obviously, he's not going to be another Drew Brees. There's never going to be another Drew Brees. But if he can develop his game within the next 2 years and get to where, he's a high end quarterback, by the age of 29, we're still going to get at least 6 or 7 solid years out of him, bearing any injury. You realize how many teams would be blessed to have, 6 to 7 years from one single quarterback of high play. That's not as easy as what people think. I know we've been seeing, the young studs coming out, and C.J. Stroud, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels, who he's having an off year this year. We're used to seeing them immediate impacts right out the draft. That's not a normal circumstance. Normally it takes a quarterback a couple years to get in. Into a rhythm. So I feel like we're in the best place that we could be. This is not, outside of our optimistic streams that we did in the preseason, where we were projecting them to win a ridiculous amount of games just because we were getting hyped because it was getting closer to week 1 of the NFL. But I don't think any of us would have seen after this draft class that we'd have been like, oh shit, hold up, man. We might actually come back to being that team in 3 years. We still need to hit on another draft. Maybe not as good as this one because it's hard to hit like how we did this year on every single one. But if we can go into the next 2 drafts and we can go ahead and find us a guard, maybe eventually find us a replacement center for McCoy who's been getting hurt. If we can go ahead and kind of youthen up that defense even a little bit more, especially on the line. But, if Stutz can keep developing and being that DeMario Davis replacement, if we can do these type of things, if Chase Young keeps playing, he's balling quietly right now, guys. He's got what, six or 7 sacks right now?
Seven and a half.
7.5. There we go.
Career high.
That,
that's been his career high. He's hit it before.
And he's missed games this season. So, you're sitting back looking at all these different things, and you're like, hold up, man. We're actually we're finally going up, and after 5 years, 5 seasons, we're finally trending up again, dude. Like I've talked about it so much at the end of the last 2 games, man. And I just, I couldn't tell if it was just living off the high of back-to-back divisional wins or, just, 3 wins straight and all of this. And I'm just living off the high and I'm just, going crazy. But I haven't felt that kind of energy in New Orleans football in so damn long that it was weird. It almost felt weird. It's been that long. I mean, I've been to 3 Saints games this year. The atmosphere hasn't been great, Dolph. I
know it has.
I'm trying to explain to Skylar, who's never really been to Saints games outside of when we started dating. She did get to enjoy one really good game when we played Tampa Bay back on Halloween. No, well, I'm talking about years ago. And Halloween when Drew was still there and we got that win and she got to experience that atmosphere. That's pinnacle, shutting down Tom Brady, so she got to experience that. But outside of that game, that hasn't been really great. Like the atmosphere's been bad. People are sitting down, may get a little bit of a chant here and there. They showed the little decibels on the board whenever we're starting to get loud, and it may get into the 100. It's not even that loud. There's no waves going on. There's no, people going crazy when we get the move them chains or it's 3rd down, get loud. She had none of that experience. And then we looked the other day, they were doing the damn wave in the Hoodad chant with 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter. I'm like, holy shit, I think we're back. Like, it feels like we're back, So, yeah, it feels amazing.
Right. So, Zach done segued us into it. So, now let's talk about Tyler Shough, the 2nd round pick, and the player most fans have a lot of opinion about. Through week 16 of the 2025 season, here's where Shough stands. He has 1,792 passing yards. He has completed 66.4% of his passes. He has 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. His QB rating is 86.5, and he has rushed for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. All those numbers come from his quarterback profile so far this season. So, Zach, let's break it down. 1, he's not sitting anymore on the bench. But like you said, Zach, he needed that. There are those who cover this team who I respect a lot. And they say if Kellen Moore would have started him sooner, the Saints could possibly be in position to make the playoffs and win the division. I'm with you, Zach. I don't believe we get the Tyler Shough we're getting now if he starts the season. He needed to sit. He needed to watch. He needed those reps on the scouting team. He needed all of that to develop into what we have seen. Now, the area that I have been most impressed with Tyler Shough is him in the pocket when the pocket gets muddy. We knew coming out, one of the things that people held against him, and rightly so, was that sometimes he seemed to panic in the pocket and do things that left you scratching your head and saying, why?
Yeah, and that's even before being with the Saints in preseason or during practice, during the training camp. That was his biggest negative in college as well.
Yeah. So he's starting to mean the games that he is starting here in December are meaningful. They're meaningful in this regard. One, he's building up the confidence of those in that locker room, his brothers, the players. He's building up the confidence in him of the coaching staff and management, and he's building up the confidence of who that nation. In fact, in recent wins like the one over the Jets, he had one of the best stat lines of the year, 32 completions on 49 attempts for 308 yards and a touchdown. That's the first time a Saints quarterback has passed for 300 yards in 2 years. My God. Mm-hmm. Come on. You can't. I mean, I heard that stat and it just made me sit back in my chair like, wow. So that's not random. That's NFL starter action. That's NFL potential franchise quarterback. Now, without a question of doubt, he has earned the right to be the starter next year. And damn it, the Saints better build up around this team. And Zach is talking about what they need to do, what they need to show up, that offensive line. I'm thinking this. We all talk about the draft. What comes before the draft? Free agency. Saints got to go into free agency. You got to go get you some top-level offensive interior linemen. Now, I'm gonna say this. I like the current center front how you pronounce his name? I dare to call him Frontier like the airline. The center. What, Fontner?
Oh yeah, Fontner.
Fontner. Yeah. I like Fontner as a backup center. You know, I think another season of him and Eric McCoy. The thing is, right now, Eric has shown he will get injured. And listen, those are some things players can't control. You know, they can't control that they get actually hurt and injured. But I'm good with that. But what we definitely need, we got to, without a question of a doubt, upgrade the left and right guard position. But the thing is, money-wise, it will hurt the Saints to move on from Cesar Ruiz this season. Yeah. So we really got like one more year with him. But
yeah, I'm showing to a backup position. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. You know, I feel like you know, going into next year, it's the same. It should be the same motive. One more, like if I'm looking at my main priority going into next year's draft, I'm looking at a guard to replace Cesar. And you know what? He's just going to make a lot of money on the bench, and it just is what it is. And you know, as a new head coach in Kellen Moore, I feel like he will be thinking the same thing. I'm not the one that told him to pay that money. Y'all decided that before I got here. I want to find my guard, you know, my person that's going to go ahead and protect, you know, my quarterback. And then I'm looking at one more receiver. You know, and then maybe you try and reach for a running back at the tail end, see if you can find a diamond in the rough, you know, or something like that. You know, I know there are a couple of good running backs coming out right now, but you know, let's see what a year of healthy Devin Neal looks like. See where that can go. Estime has actually been playing pretty well. Maybe he could be the backup unless we decide to move on from him, or even Kendre Miller if he stays healthy, which that just doesn't seem like a realistic thing at this point. But I'm looking at a wide receiver and I'm looking at a guard in the draft. And then the rest, I'm probably going back towards the defense and just bolstering up that. Obviously, Staley has a different style of defense than what we've built for this team over the last several years. So let him go and grab a guy that fits his style.
Yeah, and staying on Shough, family. Yeah, here's what I want you to hear. Tyler Shough is producing real numbers in real games against real NFL competition. That's not a developmental quarterback. That's not a practice squad quarterback. That's evaluation. And we all have seen him pass the eye test. He's passing the eye test and he is performing. Is it perfect? No. He's a rookie. He still has issues with turnovers and consistency sometimes. That's expected because, hey, he's a rookie. But Tyler Shough has overcome everything in front. Look at what he's working with. He didn't have Eric McCoy. He didn't have Caesar. He didn't have AK. He didn't have Valet. He lost Foster Moreau. And the kid still went out there and threw for over 300 yards. Oh, it was against the Jets. Don't care. They were on the schedule. And I'm tired of everybody acting like we some damn juggernaut. We went in that game as a 4-win team. Hell, in the 4 wins we got, what we are now? We 5-2. We got 4 wins now since the kid that took over. We 4-3. Hell, we should be 5-2. Go back to that Miami game. We should be 5-2. We all know what happened in that. So, so Who That Nation, this is exactly what this franchise needed this season to see. Do we have a quarterback that we can build around in 2026? The answer is yes. No. Here's something I want to point out, Zach, and then I'm gonna let you get your thoughts. So I was reading and I ran across this article, publications called Clutch Punch. So they were talking about the quarterbacks and how that right now Tyler Shough is better than all the quarterbacks drafted in this year's draft, but he won't be for long. And here's just something they say. They say, since becoming a Saints starter, Shough has outplayed each of the aforementioned rookies: Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart. All have passed to outplaying Shough for the duration of their respective careers. I'm going to read that again. All have passed to outplaying Shough for the duration of their respective careers. And then he goes on, I guess, to give what reason why. Well, I guess one reason he stinks, Ward, is because he was the consensus #1 pick for a reason. Sanders thrives under pressure, and Dart is a physical specimen. And here's what he says about Tyler Shough. Shough seems more likely to just be good, but not great. And he isn't particularly elite at any one aspect of playing the quarterback position. Well, damn it, the 3 that you named, give me one thing that they are elite in. Please do.
Dart's elite at throwing his head at other people's heads. Like, yeah, dude, that's a wild statement. I mean, realistically, who knows how things will go and who will have the a better career and all that stuff. But that's absurd to me, because I'll tell you one thing that if we're talking about elite, which in my opinion is something that's been missing in young quarterbacks repertoire over the last several drafts and over the last several years, what Tyler Shough does that's elite. We're watching this dude operate an offense. We're not seeing him just call a play and then throw a play. We're seeing him make adjustment at the line. We're seeing his knowledge. There was a breakdown. I can't remember who did it. It was on Twitter, but it was a guy who breaks down a lot of different plays and stuff like that. And he shows how it was against Carolina. They were showing a blitz coming from the outside, and they had two linebackers drop back. Shough studied. He knew this play. He knew that guy wasn't blitzing. He didn't call out this guy blitzing. He called out the 2 linebacker. He goes, "Hey, nah, don't worry about him. These two here." And then he was right. That the guy in the left dropped back. The 2 linebackers in the middle rushed forward, and he threw a dart 10, 15 yard, or I think it was like an 8-yard pass right in the middle where those middle linebackers were staying, because he knew that's where the open field was going to be. Like, he understands the game of football. That was his biggest compliment coming out of college. It wasn't that, he had the greatest arm, that he had, what did he run in the 40? It was like a 4.7, something like that, 4.6, something like that. It wasn't that. It was that he ran a pro style offense over there in Louisville. That, it wasn't like we see a lot with college right now, where they're holding up the damn signs that tells you what play they're going to run. Yeah. It's not that. They ran a pro style offense, and he's able to identify these things. That's what makes Shough elite. And if they're not saying his ball placement isn't elite, then I don't know what they're talking about, because his ball placement, not on every throw, but for the majority, exactly where it needs to be. And the one thing I've been hearing about, or I've heard about him recently, was that in every statistical category, that it wasn't a quarterback problem. The Saints' problems come in other places. That Rattler actually outperformed Shough, which y'all know. I wanted Rattler to start at the beginning of the season because he looked like the most ready, and he didn't play bad in the first couple of games too. Barring that Seahawks game, and then he had that really bad 2-game stretch right before he finally got benched. They said, his completion percentage was higher, his touchdown interception ratio was higher. All of these different things. Shough has been better at scoring in the red zone. His completion percentage, I think, is like right around like 64%. But if you take out the first 2 games where he had a 56.7% completion rating against Tampa Bay, where he came in, and what was it, the third quarter that he came in? He threw 30 passes in that third quarter in a game where, he just kind of got thrown in there. So he only had 56.7% completion there. You take that game out, and then you had the Rams the following week, which was probably one of our toughest defensive games. He threw 62.5. If you take that game out and you just go off of the other 6 games that he played, Carolina, Atlanta, Miami, Tampa, Carolina, and Jets. Not the greatest defenses. I understand that. He's 69% completion. If you take out those first 2 games, 69%.
Right.
Just like with Rattler, some of those interceptions weren't on him. Same thing with Shough. Yep. We've had a couple interceptions where it bounced off a player's hand and got picked. We had a couple interceptions where it was a miscommunication, which takes time between him and Olave, and I think another one was with him and I don't know, it might have been Tipton. I can't remember, where he thought he was going to do a go route, instead he came back in. That was a miscommunication that happened twice. And then I think there was two interceptions that were on him. Right? Let's see. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you take out 3. He had 2 interceptions that are 100% on him. It's not bad. It's not bad numbers, guys. That's why it's important to watch football, and that's why like these people like Clutch Point and all that stuff, they haven't watched the Saints. I don't blame them. Why would you watch the Saints if you're not a Saints fan at this point in time? In 2025, I get it, but don't come out with a narrative if you haven't gone back and actually watched the games, or at least watch the all 22 for you to realize what he's doing. His past, what he's doing, how he's operating the offense, how he's doing on third downs, especially. I believe I think this last game he didn't do great on third down, but he was leading the league in third down conversions over 5 yards. It's a lot of positives to go around with Tyler Shough right now.
Yeah,
and to say that Cam Ward, Shadur, and Jackson Dart, who just threw for 14 yards the other day, will have a better career. That is absurd. That's absurd. We gotta stop. We gotta stop making some of these football analysts famous, bro.
Yeah, we gotta stop. Bro. We gotta stop. All right, man. Now let's talk about one of the Zach said he's his favorite of this class. Jonas Sanker.
Dog.
Man, Sanker has become one of the most productive rookies on the Saints squad so far in 2025, and he's doing it in multiple ways. He's had multiple tackles games. He's had pass breakups. And this season, he has 3 takeaways, the most by a Saints rookie since 2021, and that includes his second career interception in the win over the Jets. And matter of fact, Zach, he graded out with a elite 92.2 overall PFF grade in that game, including over 90 in coverage. Now, when we got Sanker was looked upon as being a box safety, a safety playing close to the line of scrimmage. Everyone was like, hey, he's going to have to work on his coverage. Man, he made – beyond that intercept, there was a play he made where it was an out route, and, man, he jumped that route, man, and outstretched arms, man, and broke that ball up, man. That kid has gotten better. He was inserted into the starting lineup when he wasn't expected to in week 2 because we lost Julian Blackman. The kid has just been playing absurdly good football.
Mm-hmm.
He, my friend, if everything continues to go upward with this kid, he's a stone to come. He's one of the ones you build around on that defensive side of the ball. So what's your thoughts about Jonas? And there's a little bit more I'll break down about him.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, look, I've loved him since the, I wouldn't say since the beginning, since I watched him in training camp. Well, it was the first thing I told you, right? The first training camp that I went to back, earlier this year. I said, this dude is all over the place. I was like, he is so quick. As soon as that ball gets passed, or as soon as the runner goes, he's so quick to close in the gap. To compliment, for him to compliment what Alontae Taylor's been doing in his tackling as well, that makes the defense scary, because whenever these players are getting out to open field and have a chance to go and make a big run or make a big, catch and run or whatever, all of a sudden you have Alontae and Jonas coming in flying. And if they're not bringing them down, they're hitting them hard enough where they're slowing you down where the defense can catch up just about every single time. And that is something that can't be denied. And the fact that he's been improving in his pass defense as well, and not just in, bringing down the runner. I think that's all good signs for what Jonas can do, man. I'm so happy he was able to get that pick. It was a great interception for him, being able to jump the route and get in front of it. Jonas, like I said, Jonas Sanker, I think, is my favorite rookie in this rookie class.
Right, and then let's think about it. Safety is one of the hardest positions to play in the NFL.
Ooh, hold up.
You got to play center field, you got to tackle, you got to cover, and you got to make plays on the ball. And Sanker has done all three. And that's no rookie fluff. That's impact. He has been an impactful rookie with the Saints. As far as Saints team rookie of the year, he is up there. Hell, he may be the favorite. Shough or not. I'm telling you, that's how big he has been. So when your rookie safety leads the team in takeaways, that's not luck. Man, that's finding real value in the draft. And right beside him, there's another young cornerback who's making his presence felt. Zach, so let's talk about family Quincy. And listen, when we talk about cornerbacks, the bar is high. Coach, cornerback is one of the hardest and toughest transitions to make from college to the NFL. It separates future starters from career backups more than almost any other position. Now, Quincy Riley has gotten significant defensive snaps this season, more than half of his defensive back snaps, showing the staff trusts him and that they have enough confidence in him to put him in the game. Early in the season, when his snaps were being limited, you had everyone concede. When he did get on the field, he had his moments. I believe that Chicago game when he got his first intercept and that break that he made on that ball that Caleb Williams threw, and he picked that ball off. Listen, Quincy Riley was showing all the way in training camp. Every report, every day, you were just waiting to see and hear about what Quincy Riley did. He was just flashing. He's another one, another steal in this draft, a future starter, a starter right now. And I'm telling you right now, him and Kool-Aid, I said it earlier, I'm going to say it again. Mm-hmm. Kool-Aid's gotten better. Yeah, I call him sugar-free. When he plays like sugar-free Kool-Aid, I'm going to call him sugar-free.
Absolutely.
When he plays like Kool-Aid, damn it, I'm going to call him Kool-Aid. He's been playing like Kool-Aid. All right? Now, he had his sugar-free moment when he missed that tackle on that third down on the Jets running back this past week. And I called him sugar-free because that was a sugar-free ass play. That was a sugar-free ass effort. Let me put it that way. I ain't like the effort. But as it goes to Quincy Riley, he has had his bumps as a rookie. Like a slightly early step resulting in a penalty, but that's part of being a rookie, man. You got to learn from your mistakes. But what I like about Quincy Riley is every time the ball is thrown his way, the majority of the time it's a contested catch for the receiver. He's right there. So teams are testing him, and that means they respect the coverage assignment he's getting and the role he is playing. Now, has he fully blossomed into cornerback one yet? Not yet. But as a rookie corner playing meaningful snaps in the NFL, which is rare, it is valuable for him and for the Saints going forward. And the key line, man, is quarterbacks are throwing at him, and that's what corners grow. You ain't gonna grow if nobody don't throw at you. Now, unless you just like that. And now we got another rookie who was asked to be a real offensive weapon this season. Because we lost backup running back Kendre Miller, and then Devin Neal, the 6th round pick from Kansas, who every publication, every outlet, post-draft outlet that I listened to or watched talked about how Devin Neal being there in the 6th round was a steal for the Saints. And when he got his opportunity, he did not disappoint. Unfortunately, hamstring has forced his season to an end, but 206 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 104 receiving yards. He forced 10 missed tackles through contact, which is showing his physical toughness, and that's more than a few carries that's impactful. And that tells the coaching staff, that tells me 2 things. He can contribute today. He's earned more opportunities next season to touch the ball. So while his season has gotten cut short, in my opinion, he has earned the right to be back next year and be a more significant focal point on this team. Again, him and Elvin is a 1-2 punch next year. A healthy Elvin, a healthy Devin Neal. I only am leaving Kendre out because Kendre was not their guy. And what Devin showed me was he's able to catch the ball out the backfield. He's able to make big. What about that swing pass he caught the other week and made that big 3rd down conversion when they needed 14? He's able to pick up the blitz, something that was really missed this past week when Shough got sacked, where Hall was unable to make even a high school attempt of a block on a linebacker.
Yeah, Hall's getting reps.
Again, when you get a young linebacker, a young running back that can pick up the blitz, that can catch the ball out the backfield, that can pick up tough yards, that can make people miss, that can run through contact, you got something. Saints got something in Devin Neal. I can't wait to see a healthy Devin Neal next season with a healthy Alvin Kamara, which helps take the load off of Alvin and thus makes him more productive to Kellen Moore in this New Orleans Saints offense. And the last guy I want to touch on before we get out of here, Zach, is our guy, man. They drinking in the pubs, baby. The pubs are going crazy every time he makes a kick, baby. Charlie Smyth, baby. Charlie Smyth tied a team record by kicking 5 field goals. 35, 36, 39, 49, and 50. 35, 36, 39, 49. Charlie Smyth. So what did Charlie show us, man? Listen, since this young man has won the opportunity to be the Saints kicker for the rest of this season, once the Saints finally had enough and moved on from Blake Grupe, he has shown range, consistency, and nerves under pressure. Man, the man kicked the ball, turned before the ball went through the uprights, looked at Carolina sideline, bitch, and put his hands out like, man, come on, man. Really? Really? It's nothing to Charlie, baby. Listen, man, this kid is special. And listen, he had the leg on that 61, but like he said, he changed his mechanics.
Yeah.
He said it. He said, I should have stayed the same. I changed my mechanics because it was a 61-yard field goal. So I would like to see him. I think if he gets another opportunity before the season out, I believe he hits it, man. What's your thoughts about Shough, man?
Look, I agree 100% with that. I mean, he's made 70 before. And, we also got to remember this is a guy that only started kicking, like doing NFL style kicks, I think like 3 years ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. He hasn't been doing it long. He obviously, coming from Gaelic football, has a natural, kicking form. He has natural kicking strength. And that's something that he's already proven, because when he's drilled those, 50 yards and stuff like that, they're hitting the back of the net with some pace. Yeah. And you could tell what I thought was the funniest part about it. After he missed that 61, we go down, we scored a touchdown later on, and he goes to kick the PAT. And he hit that sucker so hard because you could tell he was pissed that he missed one. You know what I mean? So I feel like Charlie Smyth. I'm glad it took a little time for him to get a chance. I mean, look, dude, whenever I said the same thing as everybody. Blake Grupe, man, he didn't miss. He didn't miss it during training camp. Didn't miss a single one. Charlie Smyth was barely knocking down 40-yarders, 30, 40-yarders. They were going wide right, wide left, wide right, wide left, back and forth. Was really struggling. But he just stayed consistent. And I think, good on the Saints. I don't know what the kicking market was. Anybody would have picked him up or anything like that. But, adding him to the practice squad and just seeing the raw talent, the raw power of his leg. And he just had to work on a couple of things. And, now he's feeling like a very consistent kicker. And we'll see if that continues. And, that goes along with what I said after the Carolina game, where I was just like, dude, or I'm sorry, after after the Carolina game.
Right.
All of a sudden it feels like we have like players on this team that everybody wants to back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just a kicker. But I mean, you remember how it was when Garrett Hartley, became that dude, whenever your boy now over there, Big Nuts Lutz, how it was whenever he, was knocking down every kick we gave him to give us game winners and stuff like that. We've now turned into a team, although, I still like to see us score a little bit more points, be a little more efficient. We're now winning games, at the end, right? We're having, touchdown drives at the end of the game to go ahead and take the lead and get the win. That's something we've been missing for a while too. And him coming in and doing his thing after getting rid of Grupe and, being consistent. Plays a big part of it, man. We left a lot of points on the board this year. Unfortunately, to Grupe just not being able to put it through. I'm glad he's having success. I ain't gonna even though he's starting to make me want to start talking shit about him, but I'm glad he's having some success out in Indianapolis or whatever. But it was time to move on. He needs to watch his mouth and stop talking about how meaningful games. Don't let other people tell you that you're not good enough, bro. You told yourself that you missed more than you made. Like, come on, man.
Listen, man. Let Opie Taylor stay in Indianapolis, man. We got Charlie.
We got Charlie.
Listen, man. We got Charlie, man. Now let's put all this into context. I'm about to put all this into context, and it goes like this. Some Saints rookie classes gave you one starter. Some gave you role players, and some gave you depth. But what has this group given us? Simply put, they gave us a day one starter in Kelvin Banks, a quarterback who has started meaningful games and has earned the right to be the quarterback that this team builds around next year. In my opinion, I don't see a big-ass sophomore slump. I understand what people say, whether they get film on you. We go see. I think he gonna be that dude. All right. I believe we got the future quarterback in the building. You got an impact player at safety. You got a cornerback, and shout out to Dante. Dante says, hey, I don't think he was a steal, though, but for us, he was a steal when we got him, because as you said, Dante, you and many had him ranked even higher than he went, and they were only because of health concerns that he went as low as he did. We got us another starting cornerback, young cornerback. You got a productive running back in the 6th round in Devin Neal. And we got a kicker who makes real perms. And what I mean is he makes them when they count.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So while you're in there in Indianapolis talking about people gave up on you, no, like we ain't have reason to give up on you. Like you ain't give them reason to give up on you. See, some people get complacent, get comfortable. You didn't earn the right. Your name wasn't Garrett Hartley. You didn't kick the Saints to the Super Bowl. Garrett Hartley earned the right to be given the benefit of the doubt. Blake Gruber, he never earned the right for anything. Best of luck to him. I don't even know what I'm talking about his ass. That's because he's talking. But when you compare the last 6 or 7 Saints draft classes, a lot of them had 1 or 2 future starters and a bunch of projected depth on the team. This 2025 class already looks more foundational than most recent drafts because multiple rookies have played real minutes and made real contributions. So in closing, family, here's the truth, Who Dat Nation. This wasn't a flashy rookie class, but it was a foundational one. These guys weren't buried. They were not hidden. They have played. They have been tested. And many of them have responded. We have talked about that today. Now, that doesn't always happen in year 1. If you want future building blocks, this class has given the Saints real answers, not guesses. And that's what real evaluation looks like. Well, family, that's going to be our show for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real Who Dat Sports podcast. Thanks to my brother Zach, a real fan sports and RFS Saints and the Come On In Sports Network for jumping in here with his boy Dolph, man. And again, family, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to everybody. Zach, talk to the family before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. Look, appreciate everybody. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Y'all stay safe. Y'all enjoy time with family. And as Dolph said the other night, make sure y'all drive safe. Y'all drive responsibly. Be careful on them roads. Don't be drinking nothing. All that good stuff. You know, come home safe on a holiday that's needs to be celebrated. Don't turn it into a nightmare.
Most definitely. Now I got to get up and start getting the rest of everything ready for family tomorrow, baby. Going down tomorrow, man. So listen, family. Thank y'all for tuning in. Stay locked in. Stay honest, and always, family, remember, love and who dat.
Who dat?
And we out. Merry Christmas, baby.
Yeah. We back, baby. Keeping it real. Who Dat Sports Pod. Dolph Jackson, Coach Rock. Presented by the Come On In Sports Network. Who Dat Nation, how you doing? Come on in. Take a seat, it's all good, you're amongst friends. Breaking news, interviews, Saints Juice. Open lines up just for you. 9 ball, 10 ball, where you at? 12 ball, 15, where you at? 3rd ball, 17, where you at? 9th ball, all the way in the back. Uptown, baby, downtown, baby. Everybody represent black and gold, baby. Uptown, baby, downtown, baby. Everybody represent black and gold, baby. Who dat? Who dat? Who dat say?